I need help getting my images sharp. I feel like I'm doing everything by the book, changing from a kit lens to a prime lens, keeping my ISO at 100, shutter speed is high, and the aperture is always low. And yet my images don't always come out sharp. It's making me lose my mind. Is there anything else I can do to get my images to look sharp every single time? I have a Canon Rebel T5 for reference. So I'm hoping this wasn't a typo, but I think it wasn't. Your aperture being low is going to make your images not as sharp. And this person says, my aperture is always low. If you're referring to the number being low, which I think you are, the lower your aperture number, the more blur you're going to get in the background, essentially. The more depth that you're creating. And a lot of the times, a higher aperture is going to help you create a sharper image. That's actually probably one of the first things I would recommend you doing is raising your aperture regardless. But it sounds like if you're keeping your aperture low, that's the reason your photos are probably not sharp. For me, a safe range is around f2.2 or 2.5 for portraits. If I still want a nice blur in the background, that's what I'm shooting at. If you're shooting at f1.4, that's probably why your photos are not sharp, because the lower your aperture number, the more depth you're creating, even to the point where you could have parts of the face out of focus, maybe the eyes in focus, but literally someone's nose might not be in focus at that low of an aperture.